I'm happy to be joined here today by Rena Theis, owner of 350 Farms near Bonnyville. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Abby.
Of course. Now, the MD of Bonnyville Council recently approved a development application for a net zero nano brewery at your farm, which is very exciting. Can you tell me about the brewery and what people should know about it?
So the idea is basically to brew traditional Belgian beers that are inspired by the Trappist tradition. So Trappists are a type of monks in Belgium that, as part of their monastic life, they make beer. It's an old tradition back to the times of Charlemagne. I was really interested in it. I'm from Belgium originally, and I actually studied at one of the universities where those monks, their brewmasters, go to learn how to brew their beers. So what I would like to do is bring that to the region, the area, experiment a little bit with recipes, and kind of have my own take to tradition. The other element of it is the net zero part. And the idea there is to use electric brewing equipment as opposed to natural gas, and have those hooked up onto a grid-tied solar array. So that when you need to pull more power to brew your beer, you can pull it from the grid, but the rest of the time, the solar array basically compensates for whatever electricity you've been using.
With the brewing process being net zero instead of using natural gas, does that affect the taste of the beer or how does the process of it work?
So that's a good question. Like taste-wise, it doesn't really change anything. The equipment is a little bit different in the sense that it works a lot more by preheating a lot of the water, because beer is basically it's a ton of water, right? You use hundreds of liters of water to brew beer. So that would be the main difference as far as technique is concerned. The other things are exactly the same because we're using the same temperatures, the same processes, and everything. The important part is it's a nano production. That's what's envisioned right now. The goal is to produce small amounts. Think about 1,000 beers per brew day, which is very small when you think brewing. Um, just to see how the equipment handles, and then have the option to scale it up later on. There are very large electrical brewing systems. Heineken, for example, is transitioning to a net zero brewing. But those are like industrial sized, right? So for me, it's more of a kind of like a scientific experiment, seeing how we can do it, how much the production is impacted, and try to get a feel of how things work to maybe scale up later.
Now, I know you're still in the early stages of the brewery, but can you tell me more about 350 Farms and when people can expect the brewery to be open?
So now that we have development permit, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to really look into the details of like the technical feasibility of the project and like how many solar arrays we need and then so on and so forth. So that's going to be the first phase. Then we need to convert part of our existing building. That's kind of right now, it's our commercial kitchen and kind of our base of operation for the farm. So that needs to be modified. And then we probably need to do a few tests. So I think we're looking at a year to a year and a half probably before the first commercial products are come out of the brewery. The farm itself is located basically northwest of Cold Lake, towards Ethel Lake, on basically the Primrose Highway. We're 15 minutes away from Cold Lake, about 25 minutes away from Bonnyville. It's a really beautiful property. We've got rolling hills. We have a bunch of treed acres and things like that. And right now, our main production is pork. So we raise a type of pigs that's from New Zealand. And that is also part of the ecological, the green aspect of the brewery, is that the pigs can actually be fed the spent grain from the brewing process. We're talking about a ton of grain per brew day, right? So it's a sizable amount, and it would be stupid to have it just be wasted. And the animals are able to process it, so that's a great way to do it. Other things we do at the farm, we do a lot of tourism because our animals are cute. People like to see them, and we have a whole glamping setup where we have a series of tents. Now we're developing domes where people come stay with us, eat at our table, taste the products of the farm. We tell them how we do things here, and so on. So it's been really really popular.
Well, the farm itself sounds absolutely amazing. And with the popularity of local breweries rising over the years, I think this brewery will be a great addition to the farm. So, thank you so much for joining me today. And I can't wait for this brewery to be open.
Sure, thanks a lot.